Today we're going to create artwork for an acrylic ornament, such as this object right here that will be cut out with a laser cutter. So we're going to use Inkscape to do that. So one of the first steps that you can do is go find something that you would like to create for a holiday ornament. So as an example, I found the snowman, for instance, online. I can save an image as, and then choose where I'm saving it, call it, in this case, snowman. This is a useful one, a JPEG image. A PNG image could also work, but it can't be like a web address or link or anything like that. It has to be something that can be saved that you can then open in Inkscape or import in Inkscape. All right, so I've now saved this. I'm now going to go back to Inkscape and I'm going to import that image. So I go find my snowman. I say OK in this window, and there it is. I'm not going to put it here in this this space here right away because um, this needs a bitmap needs to be created of this image, a simpler version of it. And so what I do to do that is I click on Path, and then I click on Trace Bitmap. Now, this setting here is the threshold above which colors will be left as black and below which colors will be made white. So I'm going to choose, just from experience, I found that about 0.850 works pretty well, 0.9. But you're going to have to play with that for your image. So then I click OK, and this is what I will see. So I close this. That bitmap image is actually on top of the original image, so I need to drag it away. I'm going to put it somewhere here in the center. All right, I'll delete that image now, the original image. Okay, to make sure that this is the right size for our acrylic ornament, for example, it needs to sit on a base, and so it can't be too wide or too tall, otherwise it'll fall over or it won't fit. It needs to be lit up by lights here. So we're going to limit this to about 2.5 inches wide to 3 inches tall. Okay, so one of the first steps you want to do while you're in Inkscape is to set document settings. So you go to Document Properties, and you immediately come in and click on Display Units. And I'm going to choose inches. And then all you have to do is close this window. And now your ruler up above and these things, this item here, like the width and so forth of an object, is in inches. Okay, so you can see, you may be able to see that this is about 2.5 inches wide. Maybe even a little smaller. So we could make this bigger. And let's see, it's about 2 inches tall or so. So yeah, we could probably make this a little bigger. So we can click on it, and then we go to Object, Transform. We click on Scale, and let's say I make this 150%. So I want to make sure I click on Scale proportionally, so both the height and the width will be scaled accordingly. And now we can see that this is almost 2 inches wide and almost 3 inches tall. So I probably could have even gone taller, but I think I'll just leave it at that for now. Okay, so this is fine. However, the laser cutter knows red to etch or make white in the acrylic or plastic, and black to cut. And so this will not be acceptable. You can't have the laser cutter do all this cutting, and it wouldn't look good as well. So now we're going to change the color of this object. I'm going to close the transform window and come up to Object again and choose Fill and Stroke. So the first thing you should do probably is, in this case, because this is simply going to be etched, I don't have to worry about the style, which generally has me choose the width of lines and so forth like that. But I do care about the paint and that it's filled. And so I'm going to choose this item here. This is flat color. And then I'm going to go choose a color. Um, this color here, red, is the color that does etching. This red here, this red has a number, FF000, as you can see. All right. You'll notice that the borders are still in red, and so I will have to change that as well. Okay, so now I come over to fill and keep that. Excellent. Okay, now I'm going to go to stroke style, and I'm going to change this to 0 um, so that there won't be any border here in black. And I can also, that's not what I want. I can also, let's change that paint back to red. So now if I go to stroke style, again, if I change this to 0, then I will have no width for my borders. Okay, so this is an acceptable image for me. It's not doesn't have too much etching and drive the laser cutter crazy. But now we need to cut out the shape around this. And so I'm going to choose a rectangle. I'm going to make it about this big because I want to add some text maybe in a minute. And you can see now that's just about 2.5 inches and 3 inches tall. Okay, but you don't want a solid red like this. It would be too much white. It would block out our image. So we're going to go back to the fill and stroke window. We're going to first again choose the style, the width of the lines. This is going to be an 0.001 inch line, very small. The paint is going to be black. The last one, the last square here on the left. And the fill, there will be no fill. So I know this line is hard to see, but it's a very thin line, but it's the right size line for us, for the laser cutter. So now I'm going to click away from the rectangle tool. And now if I want to put text in, I could put text in. Again, I'm going to click away. So I should size this. Obviously, it's not going to fit in my rectangle, but to save time, I just want to make sure that you know that you need to change the color of this because, again, you want it to leave a white, not be cut out in black. All right. Thank you for listening.